This is Neil Ratner Rock Doc here on WDST Radio Woodstock with another episode of This Week in Rock with support from Transcendental and my friend, the amazing dentist and rock star Bruce Milner. Visit Transcendental, his stunning new office at 2 Maverick Road on the corner of Maverick Road and Route 375. Musician, songwriter, and record producer Donovan celebrated his 78th birthday yesterday. Influenced by his family's love of folk music, Donovan began playing the guitar at 14. And although he enrolled in art school, Donovan preferred the bohemian life of a wandering minstrel and dropped out soon after he began. By 1965, Donovan had established himself, scoring 3 UK hits, which included the song Catch the Wind. The Rolling Stones' Brian Jones compared Donovan to Dylan, and the British press began calling him a Dylan clone. In September 1966, Donovan had his first #1 single in the U.S. with Sunshine Superman. Mellow Yellow reached #2 a few months later, and in the late 60s, both Hurdy-Gurdy Man and Atlantis were hits. Friends of the Beatles, Donovan accompanied them on their trip to India to study with the Maharishi in 1968, and it was during that trip that Donovan famously taught both John Lennon and Paul McCartney his finger-picking technique. Both Donovan and John Lennon studied art, as did many early rock musicians, which, as Donovan explains, was the reason that he and others often used colors in their lyrics and song titles.
Lennon and I'm not supposed to mention too much of the Beatles because everybody thinks I'm showing off. I just happen to get on with them very well. We're kind of the same. Out of Liverpool, out of Belfast, and out of Glasgow, the cities were bombed silly, and we grew up in bomb sites. So I got on with Van Morrison and the poor Beatles like a house on fire. We had a similar Irish, Scottish background, actually. And so all of that colour stuff, the Bohemian musicians mostly wanted to be painters, wanted to be in art school. The girls were much more interesting. The teachers were much more interesting. Everything was better in art school. And so some of us dabbled and we were painters, but we put down the paintbrush and picked up the guitar. And so, especially Lennon and I, was a lot of painterly things. So as simple as I can say, yellow, green, blue, these things were naturally to put in a song.
Mellow Yellow became Donovan's signature tune in the U.S., and although there is certainly a drug influence, the song was about much more than that. According to Donovan, to be mellow is to be cool, to be laid back, but it doesn't have to be with a smoke. It can be through meditation, and it was meditation that became more serious for the Beatles and me. Okay, let's listen. Donovan and Mellow Yellow.
I'm just mad about...